Well, the Stevenson County nonprofit hopes more people get involved in protecting and maintaining the Pecatonica River. Members of the Friends of Pecatonica River Foundation say their work ranges from cleaning up efforts to preserving wildlife habitats along the waterway. WIFR's Miriam Niesmeyer shares why volunteers say the river means so much to the community.
Members of the foundation say preserving the river takes more than picking up trash. I talked with volunteers who say saving the waterway also protects communities around it.
It's just a good thing to keep the river clean.
The million-year-old Pecatonica River serves as a place for fishing, kayaking, and enjoying the outdoors across northern Illinois.
And we've got 58 miles of Pecatonica River here in Stevenson County. It's just a great recreational opportunity.
Volunteers with Friends of the Pecatonica River Foundation say preserving the river takes work year-round, and they need extra hands.
Every little bit of help along river cleanup is a good thing to do. Most of the time we just pick up plastic bottles and little stuff like that.
The group met Thursday night to discuss cleanup efforts, environmental protections, and ways more people can get involved.
Getting the large woody debris cleaned up is probably the most important thing. They start piling up and creates a blockage in the river.
Volunteers say trash left behind eventually flows into larger waterways, which could be harmful to wildlife and surrounding communities.
If we don't get it here, it's going to end up in the Rock River. And if we don't get it out of the Rock River, it's going to get into the Illinois River into the Mississippi River into the Gulf of Mexico.
The organization also works to protect wildlife habitats along the river.
It's just important to give them a good base to make their home there.
The group works to expand access to the river. Volunteers help develop kayak launches and river landings, creating more opportunities for people to safely enjoy the water. The city of Freeport wrote a grant to the National Park Service to develop a master plan for the Friends of Pecatonica River Foundation to help preserve the river for years to come and create more access points for kayakers.
People interested in volunteering or becoming board members can contact the Friends of Pecatonica River Foundation through its website.